Hello, I'm Mary and this is my story. My mother passed away when I was 2 months old, and my grandmother had to take care of me because there was no other person who could take care of me. So I think my father, because by that time I was not knowing myself because I was a kid, my father took me to my grandmother who raised me up. While I was 3 years old, my father was used to work. He was carrying milk with a lorry. When he went where we were used to live, he was given poison and he passed away. So we had to live with my grandmother, who was not that old, but she was old. So when I was in grade 3, my aunt Lucy, who was my father's sister, said that she could take care of us and she could take us to school. So she decided to take us to her home. But when we arrived there, we had to go to school for the first week. Then we were sent away because we didn't have school fees. Our aunt said that we should not go back to school again, and she was used to tell us to go and graze her kettles. So we bear with the situation because we could not go anywhere. Since where we were, it was far from our grandmother's house. We couldn't get any food except at night at supper, but we could get very little. Even there are some days when my grandfather came to visit us, but we could not see him because we are not at home. We had gone maybe to graze, or we had been sent somewhere to get water. After 3 years, then another aunt of mine came and took us, saying that she could also take care of us and she could go and took us to school, but it was all lies. She went and started giving us work. We had to fetch water. We could go and get firewood, but we couldn't go to school. She couldn't give us any food, and we had decided, me and my brother Samuel, we had decided to run away, but I advised my brother that we should bear with the situation because we had nowhere to go. It was then one day when our aunt told my brother to pack his things and go away. That's when my brother packed and went to my grandmother's house. Then it was then that my aunt told me to go and we should go and look whether he arrived where he was going to my grandmother's house. When we went there, she just talked anyhow. She didn't even want to talk to anybody. Then she told me that I should go back. When I went back, she had told me that she would take me back to school, but she didn't. So I had to stay there until the last minute. When I was at that time I was in grade 6, but I had passed through grade 5, but I had not learned more, and grade 4 I had not learned more. Then it was then that I decided that I should tell her that I want to go back to where I was in my grandmother's house. Then I was told to pack and go. When I went to my grandmother's house, I was welcomed warmly. I was given everything, and even I didn't carry anything, even clothes. My grandmother and my uncles, who are my mother's brothers and sisters, bought for me clothes. Then it was once that we remembered we had Mama Shiro once came in our home, in my aunt's home, and she had said that she wanted us to come and live with her here in the same house, but our aunt had refused, saying that she wouldn't have another kids to send somewhere. So when my brother told my grandmother that he had someone who could help us, my grandmother came and talked to Mama Shiro, and she was told to bring us here. It was then at 2:08 that we were brought in the same house, and we went back to school where we were used to learn. And in the safe house we get everything, shelter, clothing, and they are kept well. So I thank God because He made a way for me, because I had said that I could take away my life, but I didn't do it because God had a purpose and a plan for me, as it is in the book of Jeremiah. So I thank God for whatever He has done to my life. I know I was nothing, but now God has taken me to something, and I will live to love that God who has taken care of me until now. And I hope that I will pray for the other kids who have problems out there, and one day they will have a way, as it says God will make a way, and I know God will fight for me up to the last minute. In the future I will be somebody who can take care of him or herself, and I would like also when I grow up to take care of children's orphans like me. And that is, I thank God for whatever He has done to my life.